standing there like a gangster?
Because I'm trying to be gangster, trying to get hard, trying to roll hard.
What's wrong with you? I'm looking at the screen and you're all, I don't know what that is. All right, so we are back. Sorry, let's start this over again. Hey, we're back. I am Metal Rob, and with me as always is the great
Carcass John.
And we are back with a new episode of the Metal Roundtable. It's probably going to look like crap. We can't figure out what's going on with our screen, so just pretend like it's on VHS. It's no big
vintage,
deal.
just like us.
That's exactly right. Well, you're more vintage than me. Oh, speaking of, I think we have a contest to settle.
That's right, we do. And
Yes.
I think we actually have a winner.
We do have a winner, and I'll have to go dig back through and see who guessed it, but somebody did guess it. So the answer to the great trivia question about how old the carcass is, we had a guess of 49. We had some guesses in the 50s, but the carcass is actually
60 years old.
60 years old.
That's a 6 followed by a 0.
That's right. The carcass is 60. So we're going to go through and I'll figure out who guessed that, and I will send you your War Beast BC AD CD DVD combo, which you will freaking love because it's amazing recordings of the first show they ever did on audio,
And the
last show they ever did on DVD, and the artwork done by the 60-year-old art wizard. 60.
Wait a minute.
You're old.
I am old, but
You're not quite old enough to be my dad, but you've got me by a decade.
you're never too old to rock and roll.
That's right.
Aren't you going to ask me
Well,
why
first
I'm wearing a jacket?
of all, yes.
Because it's like 80 degrees in here. It's cold outside.
Right. So the carcass has a big reveal. I have not seen this yet. He won't show me what's going on, but we're going to have the t-shirt reveal. First of all, I'd like to point out that I'm wearing a Recordland shirt from Calgary from when I went record shopping up there this summer, and I might have canoed some lakes and done some outdoorsy stuff. So, all right, let's have it.
Okay.
Let's see.
What's the number one complaint from Metal Rob about my stupid shirts? That they're illegible, right?
Right.
So
And I'm correct about that.
I've made a little bit of a habit of trying to find the most obscure, most unlegible shirts. But I'm going to do him a solid today because he will easily be able to read this shirt.
We'll see.
The first crack. So here we go.
Do I need to close my eyes or anything?
No, don't close your
Okay.
eyes. Do we need to cue the music? Ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
I like it. Okay.
So
we've gone from unreadable shirts to politically incorrect shirts. Can you say midget? I don't think you can.
they're a band.
It's Burning Little Person.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Or what? A vertically challenged person.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so tell us about this.
Burning Midget. This would have been during Hurricane Gilbert. I drove to College Station to see the reunion of Devastation. They were playing this little hole in the wall in College Station, and there was one of the opening bands was called Burning Midget, and they were killer. So I bought a shirt because that's what you do when you go to a show. You buy a shirt and you help these guys make more records and put out product and whatever.
What he said. That's
So-
exactly right.
Burning Midget.
Yes. I like it.
I don't even know if
I'm
they're-
just glad you can read it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
see?
look like a pile of
Now, there was only
stupid-
one person. I told Papa Wayne, I said, don't, because he showed me some shirts that he bought online, Chicken Foot and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he said, yeah, see, you can read my shirts. And I said, you just wait. The next episode, Papa Wayne, even you will be able to read my shirt.
So somebody busted you on your shirt?
Somebody busted me on my shirt.
That's awesome.
Here I am with something that you can read. Now, I can't guarantee that the next episode you'll be able to read it, but you never know.
I'll be disappointed, I guess, if I can read it.
Yeah.
I'm not
See-
disappointed in this.
See, I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't.
Right, no, there's no winning.
There's no
never gonna
winning because you're going to bust my hump whether I wear a legible shirt like this or I wear a
be. Recordland.
blood incantation shirt.
You never know. It's like a box of chocolates. I never know what I'm going to get out of you. So, before we get to the topic for today, which I am sorely underqualified to talk about, but I'll do my best. I want to shout out to my boys in the Scourge. Dude, this thing came in the mail yesterday. It's been out for a couple days. The Scourge, Warrant for Execution. If you want old school, a nod to the old school thrash, speed metal, tons. I mean, it's got, the production is fantastic. This thing sounds great. But if you want new school production and big awesomeness, but you want a nod to the old school speed metal and thrash, I love the reverb vocals, effects that kind of throw it back a little bit. I freaking love it. And I was shocked when I heard this to read that Garrick sings on it.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
I just didn't know, so... And he's got an outstanding voice for this kind of thing. And, of course, the musicianship is ridiculous, as you've come to expect from... I mean, these two dudes are in Hellstar.
Right.
And there are no slouches in that band. But the youth and the fire and the energy that they brought to Hellstar is reflected also on this.
Yep. It's a ripper.
So if you like those newer Hellstar records, the faster, the heavier... kind of thing, well, that's what these dudes are bringing. It's not Hellstar, but holy cow is this heavy and good. I cannot say enough about it. Thank you so much. I ordered this off their Bandcamp page, so go to bandcamp.com.
You mean you bought a CD off of...
I pre-ordered it and waited for it to show up in the mail.
Now, you must be a real
So I could have it here.
Metalhead.
It's a physical product. Wow. You can touch it. I know, right?
You open it up.
And
there's a CD in there.
Yes.
Look, there's artwork.
Holy cow. Yeah.
Boy.
This is good, kids. Go get this.
Highly recommended.
Yes, go get this. Okay, so I'll tell you my first memory of this band that we're going to talk about. And it's when I was a kid on Saturday night. Laying on the floor in front of our TV with my parents' bedroom right across the wall, and my brother and I trying not to scream as Kerry Von Erich came down the aisle, and we were watching, I don't know, Mid-Southwest Wrestling or whatever, and he would come out to Tom Sawyer.
Oh, wow.
Tom Sawyer, kids. And I didn't know who the band was. I didn't know what they were talking about, but... that was my introduction to the greatness of Rush. What's your earliest memory of Rush?
My earliest memory of Rush was I had a neighbor next door to me in Nebraska that was a couple years older, and he introduced me to a bunch of new music, but Rush was one of them. And I can remember absolutely wearing out Fly By Night.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we played that thing over and over again, and Bytor and the Snow Dog painted such a graphic picture. It made me want to draw. It made me want to put the headphones on because it's so... Some of those early productions, especially the warmth of the analog and the tape, but just the back and forth, and you could just feel the battle, not only hear the battle, but feel the battle. So that was that. And the first show, one of my first shows... that I participated in some mind-altering substances was Rush, All the World's a Stage.
What?
Yeah, I actually...
Carcass.
I'm sorry.
Say it ain't so.
For all you out there in my Sunday school class, I'm sorry. But anyway, the long and the short of it is I remember opening up that triple gatefold of All the World's a Stage and seeing that just huge layout of pictures, and all I could think as I was watching the stage is, wow, man, that's like the album is coming alive because it looked just like the pictures.
Oh,
and
man.
I have to tell you that the undercard on that bill was so outstanding. It was Max Webster and Angel.
Wow.
And then Rush, and they played, of course, the entire 2112. They played Bytor and the Snow Dog. Basically, all the main songs off of the first three records, the first three records.
Now I'm going to need my buddy Jeff to comment on a lot of this because he is the biggest Rush fan that I know. I'm going to take this back. I need to tell a story from junior high when we get to signals, and we're going to skip a lot of stuff. I am not a Rush expert by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, all my records are downstairs, but my favorite record by Rush, and this is going to make everybody mad. All you Rush freaks are going to be mad. But my favorite is the first one. It always will be. I don't know why. Finding My Way, Need Some Love, Rules, Working Man is just, that's one of the definitive Rush songs. To me, I like this so much because it's just a rock and roll album. Now, I know that it's not what they became, because when Neil enters the band, it just changes the Rush landscape. From the songwriting to the lyrics to everything changes, and they get proggy and technical and really cool. But to me, if I'm going to go listen to Rush, there's so much I can listen to. Moving Pictures, 2112, Signals, Fly By Night, like you said, which was still pretty rock and roll. But this, to me, will always be my favorite one. And they reissued this on vinyl from the original tapes. And it came in a little box set, which is quite cheap. It's like $25 or $30. Comes with pictures of the band, including the great John Rutsey. And it's a really cool box set if you get a chance to pick that up. What do you think about this?
I can't argue that it's a great record. And John Rutsey, certainly his drumming style was much, much different. He was more of a straight-ahead, solid rock drummer, kind of like maybe a Peter Criss or even a John Bonham. He was solid in the pocket, but certainly not flowery or as technical as Neil Peart. Mm-hmm. The other thing that Neil brought to the band was his lyrical concepts and his storytelling.
Yeah, changed everything.
It changed everything, and to your point, their progression was rapid, but it wasn't immediate. They didn't Fly By Night is not so different from this because it's straight ahead rock and roll with a few technical elements added in.
But it was moving and changing.
But by the time 2112 rolled around, after Caress of Steel, which was really an interesting, like a precursor to a concept record, it became very apparent that they were moving in a more technical direction, and they were going to be talking about not your typical love hurts and I lost my girlfriend and I'm going to drive a fast car, although Red Barchetta, then that sort of blows that one out of the water. And I think that they did that as sort of a ha-ha ode. Here, we can even write a song about driving a fast car. But it wasn't just a fast car, it was a Red Barchetta, and if you do your homework, that's an exotic car, not just a regular, 69 Chevy or whatever.
Right.
But I really like this record too, and Working Man, yeah, that's one of my... In the Mood is a great song too. In fact, I can remember, I wondered to myself as I was watching Rush in my open-minded state, shall we say, for the first time, at the Ak-Sar-Ben Coliseum, which is Nebraska spelled backwards, which was really blowing my mind at the time.
Blowing my mind right
now. I was wondering if they were actually going to play something off the first album, and then when they played In the Mood, and then of course they finished with Working Man, and the place went crazy. But I like the progression of Rush. And of course Neil Peart has always I'm a drummer I'm looking at this from a drumming side, but the fact that I knew that I was never going to be Neil Peart.
Nobody is.
No, it didn't change the fact that I admired him and I admired his style, and I would try to pull some of those elements that there were some things I could actually do, and I could say, hey, Neil Peart does that.
I mean, if you pull Neil from the drum seat in Rush, well, first of all, you don't have Rush. But who are you going to put there? Mike Portnoy?
Maybe.
And who else?
Mike Mangini, but he's already got a gig.
I mean,
there's very few people that could actually pull off. The problem is Neil has this cosmic energy and this mystical fantasy, medieval spirit about him that those other guys don't have. Technically, yes, they're
great drummers. Nobody's Neil.
Cygnus and the Sea Monster is a Rush tribute band with Jason McMaster and Paul Gilbert and Mike Portnoy, and I think even Billy Sheehan. I'll have to check, but anyway, even they play the songs and they sound technically right, but they still don't have that magic. And the fact that these three dudes were together for that long of a period of time, when you look at the landscape of music in general, and it's forever churning and changing, and and even the great bands, Kiss to be one, AC/DC,
the great bands,
they change, they
evolve,
they slotted other people in to fill the void. But I just don't know if anybody could have filled the void for these guys.
Well, you've got the greatest drummer on the planet, the greatest drummer of all time, period, end of story. I don't think you can argue that. I know there are some guys out there that are amazing, but Neil is just the greatest drummer ever. Now, admittedly, with Rush, I'm a greatest hits guy. I've had all their albums over the years, but I am admittedly a greatest hits guy. So every album I take a few songs off of, and that's what I really like. And this is one of the most complete best ofs or greatest hits or compilations or whatever you want to call it. This is Rush Gold, and it just encompasses everything. It's 2 discs of just, every song. Spirit of Radio, is that one of the greatest rock and roll songs ever? Gosh.
It's hard to argue with their anthemic, is that
right.
a word?
Yeah.
Their anthemic approach to songs, and even Anthem.
Right.
Which is on Fly By Night. But even those songs are just they're epic. It's like every song is epic.
Agreed. It's just I'm looking at this: The Trees, Free Will, Xanadu, Bastille Day, By Tor in the Snow. It's just everything is good. Fly By Night, The Big Money, Red Barchetta, and then they get into another album that I really like because it's got 2 of my favorite songs is Signals. I really like Signals because they played the crap out of New World Man and Subdivisions on the radio.
Is that the one with Analog Kid?
I think so.
See, that's a great song too, and that sort of got left in the dust.
But I remember the story I was going to tell from junior high was I bought a 45, which you call a 7-inch now, kids. It was a little piece of plastic, black plastic with a big hole in the middle, and you put it on a turntable and played it.
With an adapter, of course. Otherwise, it sounded a little warbly.
Yeah. So I bought the 45 single of New World Man. And I brought it to school one day. And we had the 2 prettiest girls in school were in my class. And one of them's name was Mandy. And I had that thing at school. And she just straight up asked me after class one day, "Can I have that?" And I gave it to her because she was one of the prettiest girls in school. So what am I supposed to do? So, Mandy, if you're out there, there's no way you're watching this. But if you are and you still have my Rush record, I would love to get that back if you don't mind. That would just be awesome. But I can remember just like I'm standing here handing Mandy my New World Man single and thinking, I am never going to get this back. And does she really care about Rush? Well,
I don't know. Maybe that was her way of hitting on the razor.
So, there's just a million great songs on here. And Tom Sawyer is that the greatest Rush song?
Maybe. It's probably the most recognizable.
Right.
Every hockey game, every basketball game, and as soon as you hear that one downbeat, you know what it is. You know what the song is.
Yeah.
Well, you say Signals. I love Signals. That's a great record, and that was a huge departure from the early, more technical, proggy type stuff. It was a little more commercial,
very electronic, very keyboard. A lot of those albums during that era.
But I'm telling you, my favorite record is Hemispheres.
Okay.
It's epic. That Xanadu song.
That's the one with the brain on the front, right?
The guy
walking on the brain. Okay.
The naked red guy with the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to put a sticker over his backside, or I couldn't have it in the house. It was. I'm sorry. Kind of like the Farrah Fawcett poster story, but I came home I used to have that over my desk, and
the famous
red bathing suit Farrah Fawcett poster, and anyway, I came home one day from school, and there was a bumper sticker over her chest area that said families can be together forever. And so that was my, so that was the type of upbringing I had.
Oh,
and no
dude.
offense, because I love my parents, and I have no regrets about even our Monday night sessions with music appreciation night, and when they would ask me to pull a record, and every time they got near Kiss, oh my gosh, it was always scary. But anyway, yeah, they pulled Hemispheres one night, and the booty shot kind of got me in trouble. But anyway, but that's still one of my favorite. And I can still hear that little drum run in Xanadu when Geddy Leese is, he harmonizes Xanadu, and you hear the chimes, and then I can still I can play that record over in my head. It's one of the few that I can just start from the very beginning, play it all the way through to the end, and plus that it segued into the next record because they had Cygnus X1 and Cygnus X2. Which was the continuation of this guy's trip into outer space, into the unknown. In fact,
I never even knew that.
In fact, Record Store Day last year, I believe, they came out with a 12-inch single on colored vinyl, and it has Cygnus X1 on one side and Cygnus X2 on the other.
I didn't know.
So
I'll have to go listen to that and read the lyrics.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, the Rossignante is the name of his ship. See, I don't even know why I would know that, but that's because I've listened to it.
Because you're the Carcass.
It's because I've listened to it so many times. But I even and I was a little mad, and we're skipping way forward now to near the end of their catalog. But A Clockwork Angels, why didn't anybody tell me that was a great record? The Poser had to tell me. The Poser Mark.
I was okay with it. I thought it was good. I bought it. And I liked it. I wasn't blown away by it, but it is a good, solid record.
It is a good, solid record, especially for some of the latter stuff. I mean, they lost me a little bit, and I can't even name the name of the what's the one with the screw into the, gosh, it's got the blue cover.
Is that Test for Echo?
No, Test for Echo.
What's that on?
It's got some good songs on it.
What's the cover on that?
It's got some rocks stacked up on it.
I don't know.
Yeah, here, let me see the cover if it's.
It's not on there.
No, it's not. See, all these I can. These are all perfect records to me.
I've got it downstairs. Yeah.
Anyway, the long and the short of it is, it's got like a square nut and a round screw on the cover. There's one good song about going to the moon on there, and that's where they really lost me. But this is what I do with Rush. I have everything that they've ever put out, even the stuff that I don't particularly care for. But I pull those things out after I've kind of cleansed out my brain, and I've listened to some Amsterdam-style techno or something for a couple, 3 days, and then I go in and I pull...
You're revealing a lot about yourself in this episode.
Well, you have to cleanse your brain, otherwise everything starts sounding the same. So you have to... It's kind of
like...
it
with something good.
It's kind of... don't even...
Shots fired.
Don't even start with me, or I'm going to drop a Flying Monk EP on you in a hurry. But anyway, I would pull that one... I said, well, which Rush do I not like the most? And it's this one that I just described to you. And I put it on, and I think, you know what? This is still a good record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't make anything bad.
No, they didn't... Yeah, you're right. They didn't make anything really bad, but...
It's killing me that I can't think of it.
But to me... The records that are on your, and excuse my production value and reaching.
That's why we're live. We can't remember
but this,
everything.
I mean, even Hold Your Fire has some killer elements to it. But these, I mean, Rush, the self-titled, Fly By Night, Caress of Steel, 2112. They didn't put the All the World's Stage Live album, which I think is pertinent, even though it's a compilation of the songs they've already done.
Their live albums are amazing.
But Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, Signals, A Far Distant Warning.
Distant Early Warning.
Distant Early Warning, and the one with the kid on the cover, sitting in the chair, and he looks...
Power Windows.
Power Windows. And then Hold Your Fire. I mean... Even Presto has some... See, that's where I started to kind of lose track. Hold Your Fire, and then Presto, and...
Is Presto the one with the screw on the front?
No, that's the one with the rabbits. The rabbits on. See, Why do I even know this?
What's the one with the screw on the front, the bolt and the nut? I can't remember.
Oh gosh, I don't even have my phone with me. So
whatever.
anyway,
I was gonna get on my computer, but one of the things that I love about music is documentaries, and I have seen a million documentaries, and I've seen tons of documentaries about bands that I don't even care about. If they're good documentaries, they're good documentaries. Like, I'm not a big Skynyrd fan, but man, I watched 2 Skynyrd documentaries back to back one night, and they were fantastic. I learned a lot of things about them that I never knew. But man, if you want a complete, exhaustive history that is so well done, and will just educate you on the band, Beyond the Lighted Stage, this might be my favorite music documentary of all time, outside of like the Metal Headbangers Journey series or something like that. I'm talking about just a single band documentary. This thing is freaking great, and it gives you insight into the band members that I've never had before. There's so much live stuff. There's so much early stuff. It's just a great set, man. And I just can't recommend it highly enough. It comes in a nice fold-out digipack. It's got a lot of pictures and stuff. It's just, man, it's so good. If you're a casual Rush fan and you want a deep dive into some of their stuff and know what they're about, go, I think it's even online to watch, too.
Yeah.
I want to say it's on Amazon or Netflix. But anyway, go check this out, and it will take care of satisfying your thirst for knowledge on Rush. Because this made me go out and buy some albums that I didn't own. It made me dig deeper into some songs and some albums that I hadn't paid that much attention to. Can't recommend it enough.
Well, and if you're not just a casual fan, Best Buy, I think it was a Best Buy exclusive, about 4 or 5 Christmases ago, put out a Rush box set. Mine has 6 Blu-rays and a DVD of their first live show, taken off a videotape. The quality's poor, the sound is poor, but they're playing at a high school.
Okay.
And it's really, really killer nonetheless, because you know the songs. And despite the production value, or the lack of production value,
like you see here,
it sounds great. Actually, this production value is about 8 times better than that production value, but still, we're not Rush, so it was far more interesting to watch Rush. But it has this particular documentary that you just mentioned. It's got Rush in Rio. It's got some other live stuff, but it's got every live thing, or every disc they've ever put out as far as a documentary or a live show.
That's cool.
And a show of hands, it's got some, man, it's really cool, and it's got a huge hardbound book in it, and I think it was like $100 or $90. Mm-hmm. And if you can find it, buy it, because where that kind of leaves things off but gives you a lot of information, this thing, it delves into their child, their life as a child. So but the fact of the matter is, the music is captured, and you get to see it in full reproduced 5.1
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
My only one of my big concert regrets, and one of my biggest Rush regret, is not going to see them on the Clockwork Angels tour. My buddy and I were going to go, and tickets were a little steep, and we both regret it. We talk about it all the time, because they probably won't go out again. If they do, I will not miss it. But yeah, I missed it. Did you ever see them live? A ton of times?
Probably a dozen times.
Okay.
Starting in 1977.
Wow. I never saw them. I really regret not going to see them. I was very lucky to see Petty on his final tour that we didn't realize was his final tour. But man, if you get a chance to go see some of these bands, we're all getting older. We've all been around a while. Go see your favorite bands before, they stop. Tragedy strikes, like in Tom Petty's case. They retire. You're just not going to have these guys forever. So appreciate them. Take care of them at the merch table. Take care of them with a meet and greet. Do whatever you need to do, but go experience those shows. Meet those guys if you can, because we're not going to be here forever.
Believe me, and the older you get, and I can attest to the getting older part, and I still can't believe that I am what I am, 29 again for the 31st time.
That's right.
Take advantage of the chance. and that's why I enjoy live music. I mean, the reason to see, the reason that I love music is I love to see it performed live, and you know, if you can't, obviously buy the box set, but what that's going to do is it's going to make you regret not going to the actual live show. And there are very few bands that I wish I could have seen. The Doors, Hendrix. I was just too young to experience them. And I look at the shows and stuff that you can get online and that you can buy, and I just, oh man, it would have been amazing to see those bands.
There's a lot of good stuff out there.
But you know, when these bands tout like the Slayer thing, this is their last tour. Is it really Slayer? Well, who cares? They're playing Slayer songs, and some of the main guys are still there. And no different than Rush. I'm sad that they probably won't go out again, but you can better believe if they do go out,
I'm there.
The ticket probably won't be an obstruction to my being in the seats. So
yeah, I will be there.
Anyway,
well, guys, that's our episode on Rush. Yeah, we missed a lot of albums. We missed a lot of probably points and stories and songs, but that's what I know about Rush. That's what I love about Rush.
That's what the comments are for.
That's what the comments are for.
Feel free.
Yeah, and Mandy, I'm here. I'll meet up with you somewhere.
Please, Mandy.
And I would love. If I could get that 45 back, that'd be awesome. So anyway, yeah. Until next time, metal will prevail. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what the outro music is. I can't remember.
Whatever. You do that later.
Goodbye.